Welcome to Decades of Horror, the classic era.
Emilio. He killed his wife, his mother-in-law, his sister-in-law with a meat cleaver. Whack, whack, whack. You better stand over there. He doesn't mess up the kitchen often, but when he does, wow.
This is episode 111, recorded October 31st, 2021, Halloween.
Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Jeff Mohr. On this podcast, we cover the good, the bad, and maybe even the ugly horror films released since the beginning of time through 1969. In each episode, we'll discuss the monsters, spirits, psychos, and villains that haunted movie-going audiences since the dawn of film history.
I like it when he says it like that.
Yeah. It's Decades of Horror.
Putting some stank on it.
Decades of Horror is partnering with the Classic Sci-Fi Movie Channel. The channel launched in mid-April 2021 and will now include video episodes of the classic era available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, and an online website, and across all OTT platforms. So check it out. And as a matter of fact, I watched this episode's movie on the Classic Horror Movie Channel, which is the same. It's connected. So it's so nice to see your smiling faces. With me this week are my incredible co-ghosts. First up is Whitney Collazo, an accomplished artist, makeup artist, and writer. And there's some of the artwork right there. Whitney, how are you?
I am spooky good. It's Halloween. How are you?
It is Halloween. I figured I was scary enough to begin with. So
no.
And I'm very uncreative. I'm anyway. So explain what your makeup is there, if you can. Is there any significance?
It's what you would call a Catrina, like a sugar skull.
Okay.
I didn't do a full face, but I decided to just do some orange, some red flower, almost like Simpachul is like almost similar to a marigold. Because those flowers have significance to Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And there's a glare, but I decided to start my altar ofrendas back here. So
it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Everything looks
It
awesome.
does, and it's kind of it's sort of a two-face effect, because when you turn one way and then you turn the other way. So.
I'm smiling just in case.
All right. Also with us is Chad Hunt, co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s and 1980s. Film producer, director with Wreak Havoc Productions, and a comic book artist and writer. Chad, I always wondered what Jason sounded like, and so now I will know. Wow, yeah. Those beady little eyes are freaky.
Yeah, they are.
Are those yours?
Huge.
I borrowed them from the neighbor.
So you've been out practicing your wares, huh?
Whack, whack, whack.
Yeah. So how you doing, bud?
I am well, Jeff, my belly's full from all the candy I've been eating today. I just have to keep rubbing it like this to settle it down.
All right. So also with us is Daphne, who is stupendous and likable as hell. And Daphne is always like part of this, maybe she could tell us about this, but part of this Halloween dress-up thing where she works. And I always look forward to see what she's dressed up as, and she's nice enough to reenact at least part of it today.
Thanks.
How are you, Daphne?
I'm doing real good. It's Halloween, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Love it.
Where Daphne?
They're Daphne. They're Castle.
But you were the big bad wolf, right?
Yep, I was the big bad wolf. And I had like the bonnet and some pajamas and furry hands and legs, but it's really nice to not have a bonnet. Just be free and easy.
I love
look
the
awesome.
feet. The feet look awesome.
Yes.
Yes, they were great.
Like hairy leggings or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically that's what they were. I had asked my nephew's mom if I could, if she thought he'd be okay with seeing me in costume, because he's going to be 3, so he's kind of figuring stuff out. And so she showed him a picture, and he was like scared. And so she had a talk with him about, it's pretend and stuff. And so I decided I'll just wear the leggings and stuff like that, and just tell him I'm his dog, because he has a big dog. And but I was coming up the driveway, and the door was open, and I could hear him go, "Is she scary? Is she scary?" And I was like, "No, buddy, I'm okay." But he kept saying, "No, it's nice. It's nice. It's not scary."
He looked kind of scared one time.
I know.
You were
That's
like
funny.
going like this, and he's
I
like,
know.
I don't know if I.
He was also incredibly uncomfortable in his costume, and like I got there a little late, so he got out of it. And then when I got there, they made him get back in it. And
Well, those costumes are so cute.
Our little kids' costumes are adorable, aren't they? Yeah.
It's way cooler than it was when I was Halloween. You bought these cheap plastic masks with a cheap plastic like
rubber band
suit or something that you would put on,
sort of like this
to
one.
Shreds.
But those were creepier, to be honest. Like looking at some of those now.
When a gang of those little kids come running down the street with all that was scary.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are recording on Halloween. This won't go live for a few days, but hey, this is what we do.
Right. So pretend it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a suitable topic for today, which is William Castle's 13 Ghosts. And there's the man himself demonstrating Illusiono with his little viewer thing. Directed by William Castle, written by Robb White, who this is the 3rd film we've done from this writer-director duo. After The Tingler and House on Haunted Hill were both written and directed by the same guys. Cast includes Charles Herbert, Joe Morrow, Donald Woods, Rosemary De Campo, Martin Milner, Margaret Hamilton, and John Van Drielen. It was released July 18th, 1960. The domestic box office, I got a lot of different numbers. 3.27 million was, I think, listed on Wikipedia. UltimateMovieRankings.com had 4.3 million. And Wikipedia said 1.5 million in rentals, which would be how much the studio got, I guess, after the separate from the box office. So anyway, one also known as Das Heimliche Erbe, the Eerie Legacy in West Germany. Short synopsis: a family inherits what proves to be a haunted house, but a special pair of goggles allows them to see their ghostly tormentors. So I'm going to change the order here just a little bit, because I want to show some posters, but I don't want to ruin anything. So we're going to do the taglines next.
Oh boy!
Are you ready there, Chadson?
Yeah.
Chadson.
Can I read all the taglines as Jason would read them? Just go.
No, we want words.
Okay. All right. Tagline number 1. In Illusiono.
William Castle. Got
Okay. Yeah.
Got to be there.
It's fun to be scared by 13 ghosts. I don't know about that.
I'm not sure about the scared part, but it was fun.
See the ghosts in ectoplasmic color. Ectoplasmic meaning red.
You skipped one.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Dang it! You'll believe in ghosts too when you see them through the ghost viewer. Turns them on, turns them off, and when they turn on you. Off when they turn on you. That's why I skipped it.
Sounds a little weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I get
13 times the thrills, 13 times the chills, 13 times the fun. It was pretty fun. It was a fun movie.
It is.
Yeah, it was.
It is. And none of this just one ghost thing. I mean, what fun is that?
Right. You need 13 to really sell it. I always thought, since they called it Jaws with the, why was there only one shark if it was called Jaws? Wouldn't it just be Jaw since it was just one shark? I digress.
Interesting, though. Good point.
Yes, 13 times the entertainment when you use the new Ghost Viewer, free to everyone who sees the movie. I hope so. Wouldn't you have to pay? Wouldn't it be bad if you had to pay admission and then pay for the Ghost Viewer? If you were a cheap date, you could say, "I'll just use yours."
I'm sure William Castle would have if he'd have thought he could get away with it.
A ghost for every member of your family in Illusiono. People had big families back then, I guess. Mind you, don't scare yourself, Mordecai. Ghost Viewer given to every patron during the chill and thrill engagement of 13 ghosts at this theater. You can't see the ghost without a Ghost Viewer. CCC!
Okay, you can skip the last one. That's basically the
Good
stuff.
Same as the first one. But yeah, you get the point. 13
ghosts
13 of them. Illusiono. So
they're trying to tell us somehow, I think, that there's 13 ghosts in this.
I'm going to throw a couple posters up, and one of them I've got full screen, so I won't be able to see anybody. But we actually show all 13 ghosts, and we label them. We got the screaming
There were two
woman.
of them that were like making out the whole time.
Yes. Dr. Zorba's wife and her lover, I think, would be my guess. Screaming woman, clutching hands, floating head, flaming skeleton, Emilio, which was mentioned in the opening quote. Maybe it's Emilio's wife and her lover. I was thinking it was Dr. Zorba's, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. It looked like the two of them. I don't know what was going on there, but the lion head really, I thought it was just a human head floating around at first.
Yeah. Well, I think when they show, we'll talk about that. But when they showed the kid, where did he see that? There was like a poster in there that said something about see the man put his head in the lion's mouth or something like that. And then we see the lion tamer without a head and the lion. Okay. Hanging woman, Dr. Zorba, and the 13th one, I don't know.
Where's the flaming wheel? The flaming wheel one.
Charles Herbert, the boy in the movie, he's got his own Ghost Viewer. Mm-hmm. Crazy stuff. I don't know. This is just a rearrangement of the same thing. It goes for every member of the family. It's like they're not even really, I don't know. And then this is kind of the standard poster. And this is a fun poster, I think.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah.
They get all those ghosts on there. They get the gimmick. They get a bunch of other stuff. And then here is, I think this was probably a counter card or a one sheet that was in the theater. Ghost Viewer given to each patron during the chill and thrill engagement. Oh, that was the one tagline. You can't see the ghost. See. Anyway, it's Illusiono. Wow. I don't you wonder? Maybe I don't wonder how much time did he actually spend on coming up with Illusiono as the gimmick for this?
That's one of those sitting on the toilet ideas there.
Yes, having an
and so
I'll call it Illusiono.
And
nice.
this is kind of
It's a
what
ghost
it looks
poop.
like. On the screen, you'd see use viewer,
At first.
and then it would go blue, and there's Donald Woods, the father, putting the viewer on, and then underneath that is the ghost in red, who is, I think that's the one where the bed canopy comes down and squashes
Yeah, that's
Ben,
Zorba, isn't it?
Martin Milner's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Zorba.
Dr. Zorba. So that was kind of all through the movie. You get this use viewer, and then take viewer off or remove viewer or something like that.
They say he spent years developing this. It looks like he put it together from parts from Ace Hardware.
Mhm. Well, he created it from scratch.
It's not very flattering.
Using only what, no, it isn't.
I
This
mean,
is
it
the
looks like,
precursor to Ghostbusters.
yeah.
It is kind of. All right, and I just wanted to throw this up before I forget. Apparently, that was the exterior of the house, and somewhere in the trivia, I thought it said that was one side of the Winchester house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kind of the legendary.
I think this wasn't the street view, but it was one of the sides of the house.
It seems weird to me to see palm trees in front of a ghost house, but that's just because I don't live in California, I guess. Haunted houses out there would have them. All right, so let's get to first impressions. And Whitney, this was your pick.
Well, I've only seen pieces of this, and I wanted to see this film within its entirety, just because of I saw the oh gosh, I don't even remember the date
remake?
that I saw the remake of it, but it was like it was pretty disturbing and it was pretty gory. It wasn't something that I would intentionally set out to watch on purpose. It was, but I thought, you know what? There's the original. I want to check this one out. I want to explore this one and see what everyone else here thought. But I thought it was just so much more fun than the latter one, and just the humor and some of the wholesomeness with the family dynamic and with the little boy too, and just knowing that we have Margaret Hamilton in here, knowing that she's like, is she a witch or whatever, but Buck questions her a little bit, and I love the chemistry and how nonchalant that this boy is about some of his, when he starts telling his family about some of his own experiences, because kids are always fun to listen to with their experiences, and just seeing this boy and his sister and his family and the things that they go through together, it was a good time watching this.
Yeah. I'm glad you picked it. Daphne, have you seen this before?
I haven't seen it before, and I only knew the title from being like a William Castle movie, but I hadn't seen it before. I did not know that Margaret Hamilton was in it, so that was awesome, and it was so much fun. I had such a good time watching it. I was like lots of the stuff that Whitney said, and to me, it was like a 50s sitcom in a haunted house. So there was, the family was just kind of a little wacky, and the kid was awesome. And I loved seeing the guy from 1 Adam 12 in there. And because I always had to go to sleep when 1 Adam 12 came on. That meant it was 8 o'clock. And then I remembered that he was actually in a Columbo episode, which was really cool. So that made me happy. But no, it was fun. I really, really liked it. And I thought, even though it was like kind of goofy and stuff, I really liked a lot of the sound effects. I mean, the groaning and stuff was, like the classic haunted stuff, but the sound, how it sounded on what I watched it on a classic horror channel. I thought it sounded great too. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun. Chad, how about you?
Well, I saw this as a kid a long time ago, and I haven't seen it since then. I watched it a couple of days ago. I love William Castle's movies. All the gimmicks and stuff like that always makes it fun. But this particular one was actually scary too. I mean, it was fun, but you were having fun being scared while you were watching it. I hate movies with Ouija boards and seances. That freaks me out. Ooh, that freaks me out. I have a Ouija board story I might tell one day, but it's a
Gotcha.
no, I don't like Ouija boards, and so I was fast forwarding it through the Ouija board scene, and then when I saw the planchette floating around, I was like, oh hell no, you know. So, but I love this movie. It's so much fun, and I love the whole spiel with William Castle at the beginning and the end. You know, you put the thing up to your face, and then if you don't want to see the ghost, lift it up to the blue one, and then the red down to the red one. I put it sideways so it would be 3D.
Didn't work.
No, but I'm just kidding. But yeah, I love this movie. I love the whole that whole spiel at the beginning and end, and Margaret Hamilton's in there, and I forgot she was in it actually. Martin Milner, am I saying his name right?
Yep.
Yeah, I used to watch Adam 12 like crazy, so I had a later bedtime than Daphne, so I was able to watch it. But I used to love Adam 12, and it was as a kid I was like, but he's a cop, he shouldn't be doing bad stuff like that. And but anyway, but yeah, it's a very, very fun movie, and I had a fun time watching it again. I haven't seen it in 50 years.
Yeah, I have. I think this might be the only William Castle movie I haven't seen, and I can't really tell you why. So it was really fun. I'm really glad you picked it, Whitney.
Wanted a good story.
Yeah, I thought it was great fun, and I thought it was. I don't know who said it, but it was like this sitcom family. You know, it was like. Father knows best, only father doesn't know crap.
Yeah.
Father has issues.
Father's not too organized. He doesn't pay the bills. He's so bad at it that the family's used to
no
repossessors coming and taking all their furniture. And they just have dinner on the floor.
I know.
You know? It's like, it just seems like the most natural thing. And she says, well, maybe we could pay all of it and then pay a month ahead. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We have $2, you idiot.
And then he had Buck sitting on the floor making his wish to have a house with furniture.
With furniture.
That's sad for a kid to just, out and out say something that they lack.
Mm-hmm. They have a house full of furniture. Yeah. So, but it was funny. The couple I thought were great. I love the way everything played in, the way they made use of Margaret Hamilton and kind of poked fun at her legend, I guess, from Wizard of Oz. Martin Milner they're all very good, I think. And Rosemary De Campo was kind of a favorite of mine. We can talk a little bit about her later. But I enjoyed the heck out of it, especially the kitchen part where
Emilio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She calls her husband to come home, but I'm giving a lecture or a tour or something. He goes, get home now. So the whole kitchen is a shambles, and then the kid comes in and tells them the whole story about Emilio, and you better move. Why? Thwack! Here comes a meat cleaver, sticks in the wall right next to him. They don't ever seem to be scared about anything. Although I couldn't quite figure out what was going on when the father went downstairs and that. What was that whirling thing? Was that supposed to be a?
No, it wasn't
flames
on the poster.
or a fans, or you're right. Maybe.
Yeah, at first I thought it was one of the ghosts, but it didn't show up with the title or anything. So
that thing was on a Star Trek episode.
I saw that in the trivia. Yeah.
Yes.
The same fan. I have no idea what it was. But I love the part where she goes, do you think they'll hurt the children? And after he just had an axe thrown at his head, he goes, "Oh no, I don't think they will."
They won't do that.
They
Yeah.
won't hurt the children.
Remember, we have beds now. It evens out.
What's a kid here today?
We'll still have one left.
Since Chad brought it up, the family, like, they pull out the kid again, right? Finds a Ouija board. So how do you guys say that?
Ouija?
I say Ouija. Ouija.
I think I've always said Ouija.
Yeah, that's what I always said too. I don't know why, because there's obviously not an I on the end. But
And it was neat because the father, he held up the board and he said, "We, French, German." I'm like, I never put that together like that. So.
Well, my parents are from the South, so they say everything with the E. So they always said Ouija.
Yeah.
It's one of them Ouija boards.
Oh, my cousin had one when they were popular in like the 60s. But anyway, there weren't very many movies that made fun of use of it, but this was actually kind of interesting, I thought. Everybody else gets shaken off it right away, and what was it? Oh, yes, and the daughter's name is, what a great name, Medea.
I know, I love it. It's perfect.
And
how you doing?
Medea and Buck. I mean,
and Buck.
So, and there's Buck, Charles Herbert, who was a pretty well-known child actor at the time, but this was his last film, I believe.
Never heard of him.
Reading the book, well, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in
The Fly, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in The Fly. Monsters Challenge the World. He was in that. He was in an Alfred Hitchcock. He was in Colossus of New York, A Twilight Zone, and Outer Limits. But his pretty much ended when he matured, I guess. They decided he wasn't that cute. But anyway, yeah. But he was I thought he was pretty good in this.
Yeah,
I liked all of them.
Actors,
Yeah.
he was pretty good in it.
Yeah.
So Rosemary De Campo had a long career, but and she plays Mrs. Zorba, Hilda Zorba, and we have Cyrus and Hilda, and Medea and Buck, and she was in the Bob Cummings show, is what I remember her from.
That's what I remember her from too.
In the 50s, she was in like I don't know, 157 episodes of that. But I liked her in this. She really had, the character was interesting, and she played it like perfectly. This sort of frustration but good humor with her husband.
Yeah,
you know,
she played it real. It felt more real than usually those type of roles used to be back then. And because when she wanted him to come home, man, you could, her lip was quivering and her teeth were clenched, just like, get your ass home. And then he's like, well, I'm in the middle of, get home. Well, Bob, I've got to go. She says this.
But yet she's so tolerant of
Yeah.
not having any furniture, and she clearly loves, well, your father's a little forgetful.
Yeah.
I made a joke about it kind of being like Ghostbusters, but it also made me think of Goonies. Or not Goonies, I'm sorry, not Goonies, the Gremlins, because of the wife who is just like the family that just loves their dad, but
he's a little out. He's a little quirky.
He's just
Yeah, he seemed really familiar to me, but when I looked through his credits, I think he just is one of those guys that was had supporting roles in lots of stuff. I wasn't seeing any big, although he was in Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, but he wasn't one of the leads. He wasn't up there.
He had a lot of credits, didn't he? Or
Yeah.
I thought I remember, because I thought he looked familiar too, and then I was like, oh, I don't know these. So I thought he was great. I liked all the actors. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah, it's a fairly small cast. He had 140 credits, and when he left Hollywood, he became a real estate agent when he quit acting, or he didn't. And I guess he didn't quit acting. I saw a quote from him where he said, "I like to be in at least one play a year while I'm selling $300,000 of real estate." I got to remember this, or making $300,000 selling real estate or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but anyway.
She was on an episode of Beverly Hillbillies too, I think. I remember her.
I think she was Petticoat Junction too. I think.
Was it?
I was looking through her stuff too, and I think I wrote it. Oh, she's in Saturday the 14th.
Oh.
And a Night Gallery.
I enjoy that movie. Who does she play in the Saturday the 14th?
Oh, sure, you're going to ask me that.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just.
I actually own that. I should watch it.
Is that the Benjamin? Richard Mid.
Aunt Lucille.
Yep, that's her. Aunt Lucille. Okay.
Yes, it is. Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice. Jeffrey Tambor.
So bad. So good.
Proudly sits next to, well, I'm not gonna. But she's done a lot of stuff. She was she did an episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and she played Buck's mother.
Oh, that's awesome.
Twice in one lifetime.
A couple episodes, and she played Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo. She played Mama Lobo in a couple episodes.
Oh my gosh. Forgot that show even existed.
That's Claude Akins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rockford Files, Marcus Welby, Partridge Family, Mannix, Love American Style. Oh, Longstreet. We just talked about that in the 70s.
I think she played the mom in the mom's mom in Partridge Family too. It sounds like she got a lot of mom.
Grandma Amanda, yeah. Somebody's, yeah. So that's kind of interesting. And then she was on That Girl.
Oh.
Which girl?
In a
Their Girl.
With 20 episodes, yeah, Their Girl. And Petticoat Junction, 7 episodes. Beverly Hillbillies, a couple episodes. So yeah, not much of the stuff where it would be relating to our genre are like an episode of the Night Gallery or Saturday the 14th, I guess. Other than that, seems to me like she was in. I don't see it now. So yeah, she was a regular. There was a show on 48 to 50 called The Life of Riley, one of the early TV shows.
Oh yeah.
It says she Peg Riley, so she must have been Mrs. Riley. So anyway, yeah, she's just fun. I think she does a really, really good job. We also have Martin Milner and Joe Morrow. Joe Morrow didn't do much, although I think I saw that she got into acting by winning a contest, and that got her a contract with some studio.
She did a pretty good job too.
Yeah. Actually, I think what happened, like in
she falls in love a little too quickly, but happens to the best of us.
So I think it said in 1964 she had children, and that she made the choice to take care of the kids rather than pursue her career.
Hopefully they had furniture for the kids.
I hope so.
Yeah. And Martin Milner, you guys all mentioned Adam 12. I remember him too from Route 66.
Yeah.
With George Maharis. he did a bunch of those. Yeah, those are long time jobs.
His role in Columbo is kind of cool because I think it wasn't in the pilot, but I think it was like in one of the first episodes or something, one of the first murder victims. He plays a mystery writer. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I gotta include a Columbo connection in there somehow. But I really liked that he kind of was that he was the kind of smarmy bad guy, because he just has that, good guy vibe going on there. And bad news.
Oh yeah. Especially because of he gained trust from Buck, especially he's especially impressionable, and and that's such a big crucial thing that still happens, like you have a kid that's looking up to this guy, but and you think that the thing that they need to worry about is the inhabitants of these ghosts, when actually the boy's not really so fazed about all of these things. He's and he's got this connection with Milner's character, and it's just funny because he's not a decent guy at all.
Yeah,
that really helped put I was feeling something when I was watching this that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and you got it. There was something weird about how there was like some seriously bad stuff going on, but it was this kind of silly, fun show, and you just kind of went, okay, yeah, a meat cleaver just flew through the air and almost hit them. Like you said, this guy is totally taking advantage of lying to this child, manipulating this child, and no one has any idea. He's got pretty much free reign in the house. Yeah. And, and you're right. It's just, it's kind of icky, but it's the real evil, the real danger is this guy and that has access to this kid. And, Definitely. and these goofy, and all these other goofy things, but he did a good job. He was creepy.
Definitely.
They'll say, did you see any ghosts this morning? Oh yeah, this, that, and this.
Yeah. Right. He's so nonchalant about it. He doesn't get
such a kid.
Yeah.
Why is that meat cleaver stuck in the door? Don't worry about it.
You might want to step back. It gets pretty bad.
Right. And usually
okay, now he's done.
Yeah. Like you're used to ghost stories and film and television where the kid is totally freaked out and they're crying or something, but no, this one he's just kind of taking it as it goes. Oh, Emilio, he was an Italian guy with. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just going on a tangent, just kind of
he got to know
about
them all
it in a way.
Yeah. He got to know them all personally, and then he just moved on to the next. I'm going to go start sliding down the stairwell.
Exactly.
And I think what was really crazy for me to see was he's looking in that cage. He's just exploring that cage of that like ghost lion or whatever. He's no fear, almost just no fear. Yep. It was just great to see a character like that in a child.
It was either no fear or he was willing to put up with a lot of crap to have a bed sleep in at night.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like he wanted some furniture. And
that was his big thing. We all have our things.
Okay, we've got furniture now, so whatever.
They have these one of a kind viewers, and they just leave them laying on the or something. The kid just walks around, picks it up, and goes wandering through the house. I don't know. It was good. And I thought Martin Milner was the way that they did him, because they start off with him. He's just like the nicest guy. He's always smiling. He's easy to know. He likes
charming
the kid. But then you start to get this feeling, he starts saying things. Oh, you don't want to stay in that house, do you? And oh, we'll get this set up. And whenever they try to say they're going to do something, he's like, oh no, you don't want to do that. Then you start wondering.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think when Buck is sliding down the banister and this money keeps falling out. The first time I didn't see where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
The second time I backed it up and watched, and then I could see it. One of those doors flipped open and a bunch of bills came out.
I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, my ass would be raw from sliding down that banister if it was doing that kind of payout every.
Well, I would have gotten in so much trouble if that was me.
Yeah.
But
Well, what is it his sister tells him she can't do to start with?
Oh,
I forget what it is.
No roller skating in the house, maybe?
Yeah, no
Roller skating.
Roller
Yeah.
skating.
Well, I didn't know you were in
Yes.
charge of the roller skating in the house department.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose you're in charge of the sliding down the banister department too.
Oh, yes.
What a
I
smart
love
ass.
I loved it. I loved his character, and I totally bought the two of them as siblings too.
Mhm.
Just kind of taking care of each other. But the money, I thought that was so cool how they had that money, and of course Zorba would do that. He'd create some weird sliding thing to hide all of his money. I really liked that.
Yeah.
The fakest looking Monopoly money I've ever seen in any
Exactly.
movie.
Oh, I know it. But it was just like, I didn't notice it at first, but the second time
Yeah.
was
You
something
got to
like
pass
that.
go a lot to get that.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
a big pile of cash like that.
Oh my gosh.
So several of us mentioned Margaret Hamilton,
Yes.
and they right off the bat start,
Look, she's even got a broom.
Oh, I know. That was great.
What does he say?
He said something to the effect of,
Why didn't the
Yeah,
witch
she
answer
even
the
has-
door?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
They call her the witch. The kid
Yeah.
calls her the witch.
Yeah, there's a lot of reference. Well, I don't know about a lot, but there were a few references to her being a witch, and I loved that. I thought it was.
Mhm. Yep.
I don't know what the
Well,
word, but it was great.
Yep.
Well, I think
loved it
that
too.
top picture of her standing on the stairs with the broomstick in her
Mhm.
handle and the
Yes.
shadows on the wall of the
Mhm.
banister and everything, it just looks great. And that's our
Mhm.
introduction to her. I think
Mhm.
that's the first time we see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have had the music.
Oh, I know it.
And I loved at the end when she I don't know if she actually literally winked, but she just was standing there with her
Yeah.
With her broom.
with
She
her
gave a
broom,
little,
and
like,
she
little-
just kind of looked at it, and it was like
she gave a little
"Yay!"
smile to the camera.
Yes, it was great.
Well, then at the very end, he asked her, "So are you a witch or not?" And what does she say? Yeah,
Ask
Ask
me
me
no
no
questions.
I'll tell you no
questions.
lies.
No, the lies. Yeah.
Yes.
And
That
then
was a
she
great
walks out of the room and
Yeah.
makes the viewers disappear. Apparently,
Right.
or
Yep.
poof, they went out of.
Yeah.
She was an interesting character. I liked her. You never
I
really
liked her.
felt like she was evil. She was there a lot,
Mhm.
but you never really saw.
I feel like she helped
Mhm.
Zorba with all the supernatural stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
And
Yeah, they
she
said
was
she
so
was a
she was
medium.
sort of like his
Mhm.
partner. And
Yeah.
to help them
Yeah.
make connection to the spirit world.
And it was
Yeah.
kind of neat that they had had a falling out and all that stuff. Like they had added the stuff to the story about the relationship where they could have just, other times it could have been like, oh, she's just the housekeeper or
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
and she was there when he died, and then they
Which-
kind of gave you a little bit at a time. Like at first she just helped him,
Mhm.
and then later on she was like this psychic that had powers and
Mhm.
stuff, and
Well, then
I just
it made sense by then that
Mhm.
why she wanted to stay on
right.
and
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
and not
Right.
leave
Right.
because she knew they were in trouble.
Right.
And
The
Mhm.
father's
Right.
kind of clueless, though, right? I mean, he's like,
really?
I don't know. She stayed on. She was a
I couldn't
She
tell
just
at all.
figured she'd stay here until she found something else. So
Right.
I
They
didn't get
couldn't
that
pay
from
her.
him at all. If she wants to stay, let her stay. Who cares? We all have bedrooms with beds in them now.
yes,
Bedrooms with beds.
guy. she was perfect. So yeah, I like this cast. There's also the guy. I didn't have a picture of him, but the messenger. That guy was.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
His name is David Hoffman. Wow, talk about looking like a cadaver or something.
I felt like
awesome.
young Frankenstein when they pulled
Totally.
the thing back, and there's Marty Feldman.
Totally. And then he's out there looking around.
Yeah.
He just appears out of the shadow.
Mhm. But he's smiling. He's looking like, y'all got anything to eat in there?
That was so good. I forgot about that, but that was really, really funny.
What a face.
It was great. Now, like a lot of these people, it's a lot of the same people that are in the movie. So I remember talking about this before, but Robb White with the Tingler had done his own research and did he either did it with Aldous Huxley or he got it from Aldous Huxley to see what the reaction would be like, so he could describe, because remember, Vincent Price's character takes LSD in the Tingler.
Oh yeah.
And I can't even remember why he takes it, but he thrashes around the room, and looks all sweaty and stuff. So anyway, and then and he was a guy that wrote a book I loved when I was a kid called Up. I think it was called Up Periscope. Probably shouldn't say that without looking it up, but it was a cool book. And then the other one is Von Dexter did the music for a lot of these movies. And this is so weird. Von Dexter died in Rhinebeck, Iowa, which is a bunch of our family friends live around Rhinebeck. And I asked them all if they'd ever heard of this guy, and none of them had. He died in 1996. So I thought about digging into that a little more, but he's one of those guys, he did these music for these movies, but he didn't do a whole lot of other stuff. Well, wait a minute. How could that be? They must have used some of his music for the soundtrack of Trick or Treat. Mr. Sargent, it's mostly Castle. Well, then there's music department. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of credits. A couple TV show here and there, and then William Castle. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up again because there aren't that many Iowa connections in these.
Yeah. I just saw that you were talking about David Hoffman, that he appeared as the head inside the crystal ball in the Inner Sanctum movies. Awesome.
Oh, the messenger, yeah.
The messenger guy, yeah.
That was him?
That's what it says, yeah.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was that guy.
I gotta watch that.
I thought it was Zombie from Pee Wee's Playhouse.
They're very close.
Yeah.
I love the lion tamer scene where obviously the lion goes for his head, even though it's already gone. The guy with the axe, the executioner, in the head.
The lion was used in this was Kitty from the Munsters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
cool. Really cool.
No Sherry Moon in that one.
So yeah, they did these all up, and then the 13th one, I don't know what was the 13th one? I don't know.
Well, I think it was the threat of there was going to be 13, which might have been Buck. Then that's what they're trying to warn him
now
of.
It's now
Officer,
Ben,
what's his name?
The evil lawyer.
Yeah, that's right. It's him.
Yeah, that was a weird bed too. I didn't get that whole thing. He turns that knob down there, and the canopy starts coming down on the bed, and apparently it's like I got hydraulic force or something, because
right.
I don't know.
The bed, that was something. Just seeing that come down
The canopy.
so slowly.
Yes.
Why? I just
Yeah, that was something.
All right.
And why was it so slow? I mean,
But that's the thing that I questioned. I'm like, that's enough room to get out from under there. But I don't know. It's just the way.
You
I
gotta have
fast
old
forwarded
doctor.
for like 15 minutes and I could stop and it was still coming down.
Oh my gosh.
That's old Dr. Zorba had to hold him in there. In the meantime, he crawls out the other side.
Yeah. He had time to stretch and go, "What's for breakfast?"
Oh my gosh.
These are like the old Perils of Pauline.
Yeah.
You know,
I was waiting for Milner's character to twist his little mustache, but there was no mustache.
All right. So anything else we want to say about this? Any final thoughts? Anybody?
Since we were on the number 13, I still don't know exactly what happened to the father, but didn't he get burned or something and the number got him on the hand?
13 burned into his hand when he was in the
right.
Oh, that's right.
So it kind of left me under the impression that some more misfortune was going to happen to him. Really, I don't know. It was. Oh, and not only that, but the book, like when he had the viewer on, and then like you see the book, and then 13 is coming up. I mean, you do the number is in sequence in the film, but I mean, I was just thinking, well, what does that have to do with him? I'm still waiting to see what happens to him. When actually, what we really have to think about what is happening to him is the lawyer, him being so conniving. I feel like what's happening to the father is this guy trying to go behind his back, really, because and in the end, he's the one that dies. Because in the Ouija board and all of what happened, they were saying or trying to foreshadow and say
it's
someone
like
is going to die.
Right.
The ghost all wanted to help the dad and keep.
He just wasn't getting it either. I mean, a candle's floating along, pointing at the button on the bed, and he's just going, "What?
Over here, down here."
Yes.
This is why I don't have furniture. It's always trying to tell me something.
Exactly.
This is why we don't have furniture.
I just don't understand this.
That is interesting though, because there was foreshadowing for Medea, who I still just love that.
Oh,
she's
that's
named
right.
Medea, and then him at this getting marked as 13, and then Buck. Yeah, you're right.
And one more thing I'd like to mention was some of not only all these ghosts that we got to kind of see in passing, but Zorba's ghost. I loved seeing it in that frame coming out of it and then going to the father.
Sort of possessing him.
Yeah, that was sort of wild. I mean, to kind of think about. So this is really happening during the seance.
So that whole as Van, which is weird too, that guy's name was Van Allen, which there's a famous physicist named Van Allen that discovered the Van Allen radiation
the famous belt.
Yeah, so it's a strange thing. He's like, "Oh, are you going to have a seance?" Anyway.
Meanwhile, Margaret Hamilton's going, "We're trying to, but I keep telling them to sit down, and they keep jumping up, waving their hands around. Sit down!"
But that creeps you out. I mean, that creeped you out when they're like, what did they say? How many? And he wants
how
to
many?
know how many what? They know. And then it says 13, and then he says, doesn't Buck ask, are any of us going to die, or do they want to kill any of us? And then that whole sequence is pretty nasty. I mean, that whole picture falls down and shatters, and then the planchette lands in Medea's lap and jumps up and starts pointing.
Right.
Or no, it floats around and then comes
Floats around
over
and points at her. Yeah.
And she says she doesn't want to know when.
Yeah.
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 Well, we're all gonna die. That's when you say that.
Yeah.
So.
I also thought it was kind of funny how it just ended all of a sudden, like one Adam 12 guy gets squished, and then the next day they're counting the cash.
Yeah.
And they're like, ha ha, what are we gonna
Like
do?
a bunch of Scrooge McDucks sitting around the table.
No. So what are we gonna do?
Mr.
like,
Krabs, money. I love money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we'll
guys
just-
are really resilient. I gotta
Yeah.
give you that.
Yeah, we'll just
Definitely.
skip the part where the police come and get the body, or maybe
Right.
it's it's a what's that other movie, the bed that eats, or
Yeah. Deathbed. The bed. that eats.
deathbed. Yeah, the bed just ate him, so we don't have to worry about.
No, nothing.
But it was like boom. All that stuff happens, and then the next day they're counting money at
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom
Happy
was
as
pretty
larks.
happy. Mom was
Yeah.
pretty happy.
Yep. So funny. Oh, it was so funny.
It's a fun movie, but there
Yep.
are some scary scenes in there.
Mhm,
Yeah,
there's some
there's
creepy
some scary
things.
stuff in
Uh-huh.
there.
I mean,
1960.
the thing is that is scary to me is more of some of the going back to the lion. Like when we couldn't see it at first because you didn't have the visual, but then the Buck is just he's more curious than
Mhm.
anything. I'm like, oh child, no,
Yeah.
if that was
Yeah.
me and I hear that, I'm gone.
Yeah, he goes and raises up the cage, opens the
Yes.
door.
Mhm. Yeah, I was going, don't do that, Buck.
No.
Don't do that.
Buck don't care.
No, Buck
Mm-mm.
doesn't
He's
care.
like a honey
He's
badger.
fearless.
He's like a honey badger. He don't care.
Yes.
I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I was just thinking just now about how Martin Milner, you kind of, like you were saying, you start wondering about him, like if he's doing it. But then when he like starts saying, oh, we're going to have a secret, let's have a secret, Buck, and then takes him into that room and starts talking to him, I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? And then you realize, oh, he's bad. Yeah.
Bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see him get
He's-
tweaked when Dad's talking to Buck on the phone. Oh, you have a secret for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Martin
Right.
Milner.
The reaction.
Oh, Lord.
And it goes something like, "Oh yeah, you'd have to chop his arm off to get the secret from him."
And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
he's like,
Oh,
he's a good kid,
Yeah.
good kid.
Good and dead.
Gosh.
He survives fine, and
Yeah.
all their problems are gone now.
Yep,
Yeah.
Dad can forget to pay all the bills he wants
exactly.
Oh, that's right.
because Margaret Hamilton will take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
What was her name? Elaine Zacharides.
Yes, Zacharias. Interesting last name. I have a hard time with that one.
So yeah,
There's lots
fun
of really
movie.
interesting names.
Yes, different names. Yes,
Well, Zorba as a last name just by itself is
Yeah,
that
an
really
interesting
is.
choice.
yeah.
Cyrus Zorba, and what was I mean, I know it was Dr. Zorba, but he had a first name too.
Oh,
I thought,
yeah.
okay. Oh, Plato. That was it.
Play-Doh
Plato
Zorba.
Plato's Zorba.
Yes. Old Uncle Plato. I thought he died a long time ago. That's what he wanted you to think. Okay.
Gosh.
All right. Well, we do have some feedback.
Hooray!
Hooray. Some of it's long, some of it is short.
Jason likes feedback.
Daphne
Yes, he
likes
does.
reading feedback.
So here's one for episode 110, The Long Hair of Death, from J. Bart, regular listener, viewer. I've been obsessed with Italian cinema for a while now. Enjoy this 50s, early 60s Gothic period with witches, ghosts, and curses. Pre-Giallo, gore, American ripoff exploitation. I usually lean more mid-70s through 80s, but have been digging deeper into this older era. I caught this along with Kill Baby Kill, 1970. Actually, that's earlier than 70, I think. I think that's a 60s movie. We will have to look that up. About a year ago for the first time. Flawed but fun. Love you doing this more obscure stuff. Nice pick, Daph.
Thanks, Joe.
Awesome.
He's on one syllable basis with you, Daphne.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Joel's cool.
Yep.
I have to look this up now. Kill Baby Kill is 1966, so it could be one of those ones that was released, in the U.S. in 70 or something. Without digging too much farther. So appreciate it, Joel.
Yes, sir.
Keep letting us know and throw us a good recommendation if you got one. This is my favorite one. Episode 98, Island of Lost Souls, from Alex Flowers. A review that is longer than the movie it's reviewing.
He must be new.
Yeah. That's what we do, dude. We talk about the movie until it's dead. No. We have fun, We're just people that like talking about these movies, and looking, researching them and trying to find out cool information. So
it seems like there are two camps with podcasts. The ones that they want you to just get to the point and talk about it, and that's it. And the other ones where it's like, oh, just talk, have fun,
We are of the latter podcast.
Yeah. I like those.
Right.
Although it is nice, the short ones when they get to the point and stuff. I get it, but I like talking with my friends about movies.
I do, and that's kind of what we're doing, and we've had people telling us that's what it feels like when they're listening. So we're just trying to have fun, and if someone else enjoys it, that's awesome. We did have some criticisms early on, I believe, when we got on YouTube, of people like saying you're never going to make it. You need to write something down. You need to have, when you watch the polished reviews, and they're obviously using a script because there's no pauses and they talk exactly this long every time, and that ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Sorry,
I'm not right. I'm not writing it.
We're having a general format, and we're going to talk about it and have fun. So yeah,
we're trying to format it like we're just friends sitting around talking about movies, and hopefully it comes across with that. But I guess the more cat imitations we get with psst, psst, we'll know whether to go in that direction or not.
Yeah.
But,
so
this isn't coming across very well because of this mask.
Yeah.
I think it's coming across.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that's Alex. That's what we kind of try to do, is just have a conversation rather than this movie sucked because, or this movie was great because. We just try to have a conversation about it, and sometimes it goes longer than the movie. But you should be around for the 80s and 70s podcast too.
Yeah. So I guess I appreciate the comment, Alex, but yep, you got it. that's
You can't argue with it. It's true.
Right. And then we have one from Andy L., a friend of mine that I exchange emails with. And he said this once before, but I'll say it again because we misrepresented about how his mother had dated Jack Warner. And I said maybe she worked for him for a while. Well, she actually worked for William Morris Agency in the 40s and briefly dated Jack Warner, but she never worked for him. And then he got into how on the episode about Rasputin, and this is why the episodes are long. You mentioned Ed Sullivan's show and plate spinners. I don't remember how that came up, but I do remember talking about it. And he's right. He says Sullivan was must-see TV in my childhood every Sunday night. He's right. Every Sunday night was Walt Disney and Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
I was asleep before Ed Sullivan, but yeah.
Ed Sullivan, let's see. My father worked in Manhattan and was a member of the Lone Star Boat Club, which was actually a health and squash club. He acted as an officer on the board and played squash every week there. Once in a while, I would go into Manhattan to meet him there. And since the club was quite near the Ed Sullivan Theater, Ed was a member as well. I have definite memory burned into my memory of seeing Sullivan wearing only a towel in the locker room going into the steam room. Quite a shock for an 8-year-old, as Ed wasn't exactly known for his physique.
He was after that.
And then he adds another short comment about Plan 9 from Outer Space. He says the scene of Vampira in the graveyard and shots of Tor Johnson was in the very opening of Chiller Theater, hosted by John Zackerly on Channel 11 in New York, and would rotate through the movies he would air on TV. Even as a young kid, I could tell that it wasn't a 5-star film, but I didn't know about Ed Wood until I saw the Tim Burton film. Chiller Theater creature features were a major part of my Saturday night as a kid for years and helped develop my appreciation of classic horror films.
Cool.
And that's a lot of people's story, right?
Yeah. It was mine. It was Shock Theater for me. It was called Shock Theater.
Here in central Iowa was a local show called Gravesend Manor. And the star, some of the characters were, one was the Duke of Desmonez.
I love it.
And Esmeralda, who was obviously a guy in a dress. And then there was supposed to be a hunchback named Claude that was always doing stupid stuff. But, anyway, I was actually told that they took that show off the air when one night they set the studio on fire by accident. Anyway, probably wasn't funny then. Thanks everybody for their feedback. Yeah. Yep. And
Thanks.
Alex Flowers. I think that means you probably aren't listening anymore, but if you are, check us out.
Yeah, come along with us.
We're good people.
So that's it.
Yes, we are.
That's it for this episode. Every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1920 and 1969. Next up is one chosen by Chad.
Herschel Gordon Lewis, 2000 Maniacs, with special guest Gigi the Loser.
Oh.
You'll have to tune in to find out who that is.
From Cat and Nine Tails. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my.
And
otherwise known as Sandy Castle.
Yeah.
We don't ever call him that anymore. His name is Gigi the Loser. So any feedback after you watch the show, please refer to him as Gigi the Loser. I beg of you.
Well, we might have to
That's all I have to say about it. Matter of fact,
from before and after picture.
When we're setting him up for StreamYard, we're going to put his name down there at the little square box, Gigi the Loser.
Oh my goodness.
That's what we're going to
do. All right. So send us feedback. We like feedback.
Oh my God, we're an hour over.
We'll read it if we can. If we have time, and we usually do feedback at gruesomemagazine.com or leave comments on the YouTube channel. You can also check us out on just your standard run-of-the-mill friendly neighborhood podcast apps. Leave comments on the Gruesome Magazine website or the Gruesome Magazine H&R and DOH Facebook group. So lots of ways to stay in touch.
Pigeons.
Pigeons, yeah.
We also take pigeon messages. It's hard to get the little thing off their leg, though. And they scream. Oh, my God, it's terrible. Don't mind.
Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the classic era's. Only decades of horror can do it. I think your soul is being possessed.
Well, I'm trying to draw all negative feedback toward me to spare the rest of you guys. That's what I'm trying to do.
Hopefully it's working.
Who is this idiot?
Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
magazine.